Hello Capricorn, welcome to This Is Not Legal Advice. I am your host TINLA, and this is your reading for the week of July 27, 2026, or whenever this reading happens to find you. Thank you for joining me. I am feeling a little weird this week, so I picked some decks that reflect said weirdness, starting with the Edward Gorey's Fantod pack. Anywho, we have the insects. Interesting, because we had that also for my friends Virgos. But let's find out what the insects have for you. Thursday, maybe some of these keywords mean something to you. Thursday, folie de, green sickness, senseless talk, loss of vitality, an accident in a field, false hopes, spasms, a refusal, insincere love, blisters, disagreeable news, and threats. So maybe that means something to you. Maybe any one or multiple of those words mean something to you, but we're just going to stick with this over here with the insects. And then I'm going to come into some tarot and see what Spirit has to say to you this week, Capricorn. So again, thank you for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, etc. Got that out of the way. You're all business. I'm all business. I get it. Just kidding. Spirit's all business. I'm just here to tell the message. Okay, what's going on? We've got the Ace of Pentacles and death / rebirth, whatever. Okay, for the algorithm, because it freaks out. One more, please. That takes me straight to William and Dorian and Oliver. Maybe some of those names mean something to you. I just felt the need to say them. Okay. And by the way, it could be any derivative of William. Nine of Cups. Let's see. What is going on this week? My goodness. Spirit, give me some guidance. What's Capricorn going through this week? One more, please. One more, please, Spirit. I appreciate your patience, Capricorn. I know you got a ton of things to do. You always do. But I appreciate you spending your time here with me. Five of Swords. Okay, I'm getting very strongly that you have a new job offer coming in, Capricorn. Congratulations. You're being offered more money. You would be taking on an entirely different role that you thought, honestly, was the role of your dreams. But now you're wondering to yourself, is this really what I want? And maybe those around you are questioning you and questioning what you know, if this really would make you happy, and you're being forced to really introspect on whether, you know, the things you've wanted in your career really will make you happy. And listen, Capricorns, I know that you are success-driven people. You're hardworking. You know, I think the question Spirit is asking you this week is, what do you really want? You know, what do you want and why? You know, I think you need to step back for a second here, Capricorn, and ask why. Why do I want this promotion? Why do I want the new job? Is it the money? Can I make my life better with the money? What does this really look like? Am I trading in, you know, another 10, 20 hours of my personal life to make a little bit of extra money? And does that trade-off make sense? I feel like Spirit is asking you, Capricorn, you know, what good is all of these things that are changing your life in the butterfly here if everything around you goes away? You know, what good is this happiness fulfillment with the Nine of Cups if you're alone on the beach? And this Five of Swords if you're traversing this path alone. Again, with all of these people that used to be on your sides here that are gone now. So I'm getting a sense that Spirit really wants you to introspect this week on what is it you really want in your career and why. What is the take-home message? Like, is this something you were trained to do, where your family perhaps or friends like had this idea of you should be this, you should be a doctor, you should be a lawyer, you should be an engineer, you should be whatever, you should. Stop and ask yourself why. Why should I? What is this extra money really do for my life? And if the answer is it gives me the life I want, so be it. But at least you've reached that decision after your own thought process and not just because somebody else told you that's what you should want. Show me a challenge, please, for the Capricorn this week. Give me a challenge, please. Spirit, give me a challenge, please. You're definitely flighty. You're off in your mind. Look, the Hierophant. Okay. To me, this says you are in a system, like a regimented system, tradition, path. You know, I'm getting, if you're a doctor, you know, it's like your parents were doctors, you're a lawyer, your parents are lawyers, you're an engineer, your parents are engineers, or maybe they weren't, but they set a course for you from the, like, as long as you can remember, right? From the time you were a child, you were supposed to do, you were supposed to. That was your big thing. You were supposed to. And you don't even know if that's what you want. Like, maybe you're considering going to grad school and you don't know if that's really what you want. You don't know if you want to become those things. You don't know if you want to go to college. Maybe you want to, you know, get into VCR repair. I don't know. I mean, it's absolutely seems unnecessary and esoteric at this point. But hey, you know what? Maybe there's a niche for it. I don't know. But my point is, you got to go with what makes you happy. Like, what is it? That's what I'm hearing. What is it that makes you happy? Truly, get down to the core of it. What makes you, Capricorn, happy? Not what everybody else wants. Okay? Not what you've been trained to want. Not what your elders have told you you should want, or your friends, or even your spouse or partner wants. Okay? What do you want? I'm almost feeling like that Ryan Gosling, like, what do you want? You know, in The Notebook. Okay? Not saying that's a great movie for a lot of different reasons, but in that scene, it is pretty epic, right? Especially as a Libra, I'm like, I don't know what I want. You know, but you guys know. Like, in your core, you know. You are so determined and driven, Capricorn. Like, you know. But just be careful that you don't just keep driving without knowing the why of where you're going. What difference does it make if you get to the destination in the fanciest car and the fastest time if you don't even know why you're there? What is your happiness? Is it your happiness, or is it something else that somebody wanted for you? I feel like I'm yelling at you. I'm sorry. I just love you guys so much. Okay, what is an advantage the Capricorn has this week? What things can they rely on to give them some guidance, please? Thank you. The crushing weight of it all. I hate to say it's a strength, but it really is. You're going to get some guidance because it's such a cross to carry. It's such a burden. Like, the idea of you're looking up at this like, oh my gosh, I have to go to medical school. I can't even fathom. I'm going to hate it. Like, you're looking ahead. I'm getting a very strong sense of you have a chance right now to make the kind of change that will affect the rest of your life. What are you going to do about it? And the asset that you have here is looking at it and seeing it for what it is. And if what you're seeing is, this thing ahead of me is a burden. It is a stressor. It is something that I don't really want. I look at it as something that will crush my soul. Don't do it. Be honest with yourself. Don't do things because other people told you to do them. Okay? I will tell you, in my graduate program, the people that were there because they really wanted to be there were the happiest and most successful at what they did. The people who were there because mom and dad said I have to do this. I don't know what I want to do. They were miserable, and it showed in their grades. So if what you really happen to want to do is, like, for example, be a doctor. If you're going to med school just because you're supposed to, you're going to be miserable. It's going to crush your spirit. But if you take a few years, you really think about it, you explore some new options, and then you come back around and say, you know what, I actually do want to be a doctor for my own reasons, then you're going to be successful. But you have to do it for you. And this terrifies you. Honestly, it terrifies you. What I'm telling you, you're like pushing me away. I'm surprised you're even still here. You should not be here, is what I'm hearing. Okay? You are somebody who is absolutely terrified by the concept of having to make this choice for yourself. What if they don't love me? What if they're mad at me? What if they think I should do this or I should do that, and I let everybody down? I'm a huge disappointment. Oh my God. Okay? What's the advice from Spirit on this? Because I know, listen, I'm not saying this isn't stressful. It's hugely stressful. Take a beat with the Four of Swords, Three of Wands, imagine your future, and the Two of Cups. Okay? So what I'm very strongly getting here is you need to just take a little bit to really feel out, what is it you want? What is it you need? How is it that you are feeling? Truly, get away from it all. Have a cup of whatever this is he's drinking over here, okay? Whether it's tea or bourbon, I don't know. Okay, you do what works for you. But my point is, take a break, take a beat. Let your imagination wander. Imagine what your future looks like. What does your future look like if you follow the path that has been set forth for you? Is it what you really want? Is that going to give you the true fulfillment, the eye to eye with, you know, I'm seeing this as, you know, current / past you meeting up with future you. Are you guys in sync or not? You know, can you see eye to eye? Could you legitimately look back years from now as an older person with whatever course of action you take and be pleased and satisfied and at peace with that? And I think Spirit's advice is, think about these things. What does that future look like? And what does future you say? Okay? And let's see what the outcome is. If Capricorn were to take the advice and back off and think about, like, what do I really want for my future? You know, the things I was just talking about here. If they were to do that, Spirit, the Capricorn viewers, what can they look forward to this week? What can they look forward to this week, Spirit? Thank you. 7 of Cups. You're actually going to get some, it's in reverse. And so the 7 of Cups in the upright is indecision, it's a lack of clarity, it's too many options, and sort of a panic sense for not knowing what it is you want. But it was in reverse, which tells me you're going to get the clarity you're seeking if you just take a minute and breathe. One more on the outcome, please, Spirit, if Capricorn actually heeds this advice. Which, I don't mean to say sarcastically, but would be a hell of a surprise. But if you did, what would it be? The Lovers. Again, this is another card about choice. The Lovers in the upright is about making a decision between 2 options. Usually. Could be more if you're Mormon. I don't know. That was a joke. Please laugh. But in the reverse, it's telling me that you are going to get the information you need to make that decision very clearly, which is echoing this 7 of Cups. All right. So I just think there's a really good outcome for you. I think you're very panicked, like you have to make a decision today, right now, do the thing, get the stuff, woo. Okay. But Spirit is saying, take just a minute, step back. How do you really feel inside? What do you really foresee in your future? Is future you happy about this? And once you start to really let those things sink in, you know, what does that future look like to you? The choice will make itself clear with what you have to do. You will get that choice. Anything else for my Capricorn friends? Anything else for my Capricorn friends I need to know this week? Anything else? Thank you. Yeah, Queen of Wands, you know. It may not be clear to you right now. Follow your intuition, you know. The answers are within you. If you just give them a chance to speak. If you give your soul a chance to speak, the answers are within you. Just listen. We have the King of Wands, the Page of Swords, and the 3 of Cups. What this is telling me is, and by the way, bottom of the deck is the King of Pentacles. Look, financial success. You will get financial success. Don't worry. Calm down, Capricorn. And you're like, what about the money? You're going to get the money, okay? But how are you going to get it? You're going to get it if you really follow things through in a way you're living through your truth, you're cutting through the BS, you're taking action in accordance with. The King of Wands is an action taker. You're taking big, bold action in alignment with yourself. And with the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands next to each other, it's telling me that you're in alignment deeply with yourself, with what Spirit has for you. Those are all connected, okay? And if you do those things, you're going to find that you're going to have a very serious sense of peace. You're going to know that what you want is the truth. And I'm getting here, look, we also have with the Page of Swords, we have all these books here, okay? You're in a library, you're studying, you're looking out to the future. Like, there is still this future. Like, it's not do or die, okay? If you go to law school instead of medical school, it's not the end of the world, okay? There's still something there. You can still work hard. You can still, like, you know, get involved in work. Don't worry, Capricorn, okay? But you can also have happiness, celebration, a balance in your life of beautiful things, and financial success. Which I know is super important to you. I mean, it's important to everybody, but Capricorn, let's be real, like, that is your crowning jewel, okay? So you can have that. Don't worry. Be happy. You got this, okay? And I'm feeling the name Bobby with that because of Bobby Farron, who sang that song. All right, another piece of wisdom from Spirit, the software update. And bottom of the deck, an offering, okay? So let's see, the software update. The software update. All right, it's page 22. Again, I think we had some tutus here. We talked about that. This is an invitation to evolve. If declined, all life will be experienced through the lens of your outdated software. This may improve upon old features or add something entirely new. And what the heck did I just say? This is a turning point for you this week. A turning point where you can either view things in the old way, what's expected of you, what people told you to do in your life, or you can do things in the way you see fit. Take a beat, take a minute, really feel what you want. Okay? And with the offering card, it says, page 18, which incidentally is the moon card. So maybe things have been mysterious to you. Maybe things have been very unclear to you. Well, I'm here to tell you, and Spirit's here to tell you, if you're looking for a sign, this is it. Okay? So, I don't know what else to say to you, Capricorn. I can't make you do what you don't want to do. Nobody can. You're stubborn that way. But Spirit is suggesting very strongly that you just take a minute and do what's right for you and not what everybody else wants, and you will find success. You will find the thing that you want in that. I believe in you, and I believe you will like, share, subscribe, etc., and see me next week. Bye.